right. Hello, everyone. Can somebody please just let me know that you can hear me in the chat window? That would be great. Hello, thank you. All right, so hi, everybody. Great, Steve. Thanks. Is it Jeannie? And Marla, of course, hello. I see we've got Alex as well. April, hi. Who else? Diana, I can see that you're there in the background. Margaret, it's lovely to meet you all. My name is Caroline and I am one of the hosts here at LearnBridge Online, and I've heard great things about this class, so I thought I would pop along, say hi, introduce myself, and welcome Marla. So I just wanted to run through, hello Jeannie. So I just wanted to run through a few things really quickly. I'm sure you've heard it all before. If you run into technical difficulties today at all, there's a couple of things you can try. Firstly, you can leave it a moment, see if it irons itself out, as the internet sometimes does. It's a mystery. The second thing you can do is just refresh your browser tab. And failing that, just close the browser tab completely, go back to your original email invitation and reopen the link from there. If for some reason that doesn't resolve your issues, and we very rarely have issues at all, to be honest, sometimes, it might be the sound drops out or something like that, and really refreshing the browser tab nearly always solves it. But if for some reason that doesn't work, you'll see up in the top left-hand corner, there's a LearnBridge Online logo, and it says click here for support underneath it. So just go ahead and click on there, and it will come through to me in the background, and I will help you out. If you do have technical difficulties, just do it that way if you need to speak to somebody rather than typing about it in the chat. That way we can just focus on the lesson in the chat. And speaking of the chat, if you have any questions throughout the lesson, please do go ahead and ask them in that chat window. It's very likely that if you've got a question, somebody else will have the question. So don't worry about whether it's a silly question or anything like that. All questions are welcome, and it actually, all of this participation is what makes LearnBridge Online such a wonderful community. So with all that in mind, I'm going to, Bob, hello, hi. With all that in mind, I'm going to start the recording, and then we'll welcome Marla up to the stage. Hi, Diana. Just takes a little while for the recording to start. Just put some hold music on. All right, we're off. Well, welcome everybody to another LearnBridge Online lesson. All of those who are joining us live, also a big welcome to those people who are joining in the replay. If you are watching the replay, please feel free to come along and join us for the live lessons. It's super fun, and you get to take part and ask your questions, and if you're anything like me, get them all wrong, but it's all part of the experience and it's lots of fun. But otherwise, you can always go back to all of the lessons in your lesson library and rewatch them, which I highly recommend. So today we've got Marla Lawson as our fantastic teacher, and let's give her a warm welcome and invite her up to the stage.
Hello.
Marla, hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, great, thank you.
Well,
what have you got in store for us today?
Well, we've been learning a lot about how to take tricks, because the object of the game is to take as many tricks as possible, you and partner together. And we learned about taking tricks with high cards, with honors, and with length tricks with a long suit. And today we're going to uncover a third way to take tricks.
Oh, I have a sneaky suspicion what it is. I think it's fun. So I will leave you to it, but don't forget, I'm there in the background. Click on the logo if you need me, but have a really wonderful lesson, and I'll see you all at the end. I'll pop in and help wrap things up.
Super. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. Hi, everybody. And for those in the US, happy President's Day. And I hope if you had a long weekend, I hope you've been enjoying it. And we're going to play some bridge. So As I said, we've been learning about how to take tricks with high cards and with long cards. But what if you come across a situation where you need to take 9 tricks or 7 tricks and you're counting your tricks and you're like, okay, I can take 3 tricks with the high cards and a couple tricks with this long suit, but I don't have enough. There's another option. So with that, let me share my screen. And hopefully you can all see this. And okay, so we have to win 2 tricks between north and south together. And everybody's got 2 spades. So obviously the ace of spades is the highest, so that'll take a trick. And the queen is up there in rank, but then there's that king that West has. So if we're going to start by playing a card from the south hand, does anyone see how we can win both tricks? Well, because West has to play after south and before north. So we'll play a spade. And since West played the 10, the queen will win the trick in north. So we'll play the queen. And now, if you remember, since north won this trick with the queen, north is on lead and is first to play to the next trick. And they'll play the only card they have left, because this is a partial, the ace of spades. And we have to play the 7. And West has to play the king. And we won both tricks. This concept, trying to win a trick with a card that is not the highest card outstanding, is called taking a finesse. And we're going to be learning all about finessing tonight. And it doesn't have to be necessarily honor cards. Let's look at this example. Again, we have to take 2 tricks. We're starting from the south hand. We're playing through West toward the north hand. So we can see if we play a small spade and West plays the 6, we can win this trick with the 7. Win it as cheaply as possible, of course. And now the 9 of spades in north will capture West's 8 of spades. Let's continue. Now this time, we're starting from the north hand, and we have to take 2 tricks. The king looks like that will probably be a winner. It's the highest card on the screen. But we need to take both tricks. And the jack is outstanding with east. But because we're starting with the north hand, we play a diamond from north. If east plays small, we can win with the 8 and save the king to take the jack on the next trick. Now we're on lead in south, so we'll play the king. And we've captured the jack. So we have finessed the 8 of diamonds. Okay, so now here we're starting from the north hand. And luckily, the goal is to take 1 trick. Well, we have the ace of hearts, so that will certainly take a trick. Is there any way we can take 2 tricks? What do you think? Well, I didn't really mean it to be a trick question. But if you're trying to think, well, how can we take 2 tricks? You can't. Because when we play from the north hand, we're starting from the north hand. If we play the ace now, West is certainly going to play small, So when we have to play our queen next, they will win with the king. So we just take one trick. And if we do it over again and say, okay, well, we'll finesse the queen. But if we play the queen, West will take the king. So we'll get one trick, but only one. The finesse fails, and the fancy bridge terminology for this is that we say the king of hearts is offside. If East had the king of hearts and we could play through East toward our ace queen, we would say the king of hearts is onside. And here's another bridge term to cloud your brain. When we have this position with like the ace and the queen, and we're missing the in-between card, the king, it's called a tennis, like 10 ace, only here it's the queen and the ace. That's not as important, but that'll register in your subconscious. Okay, so now we have to win 4 tricks, north and south combined, and we're starting from the north hand. Well, what are our immediate winners? Top tricks. The ace of hearts and the ace of clubs. And we have the queen and jack of clubs. And one of those will be promoted once the king is forced out. Remember we talked about establishing a suit? And then, so that would give us 3 tricks, the 2 aces and then either the queen or the jack. But our directive here is to win all 4 tricks. And we're starting from the north hand. Well, we can take a finesse. We can see that the king of clubs is on side. East has the king of clubs. So East has to play before South, and South has the ace, queen, jack. So if we start with a small club from North and East plays small, we can win with the jack. The finesse was successful. And as a general rule of thumb, not perfect, but a general rule of thumb, if a finesse works once, it will probably work again. Can we do the same thing over again? We won this trick with the jack in the south hand, so we have to start from south. But we want to start back up in north again to take the finesse through east. Does anyone see a way we can get to the north hand? Yeah, let's play the 5 of hearts, Alex. And North wins with the ace. And now we're back in the north hand, and we'll repeat the finesse. And once again, East played small, so we can win with the queen. We have successfully finessed twice. And now, because we can see all 4 cards, we know we're in the south hand. We've only got 1 left to play, and it's the ace. And we will capture the king. And we won all 4 tricks. Okay, so here we have to win all 3 tricks. And we're starting from the south hand. Well, we have 2 aces. But we also need to win that 3rd trick with the queen. If we start from the south hand, how can we take a finesse? We can see that East has the king of hearts is on side. So we want to play a heart from north through east towards south. Well, it's the same concept as last time. We have the 7 of spades to get to the ace of spades in north. And now don't touch that 8 of spades because that's not a good trick. You can see West has the jack and 10 of spades. Play your 9 of hearts. When East plays a small heart, in South, you win with the queen. And now South is on lead because South won that trick with the queen of hearts. So they'll start with the ace of hearts. North doesn't have any hearts, neither does West, so they have to discard their spade, and we have captured the king of hearts. Is it starting to make sense? This is a very common theme in bridge, taking finesses. Okay, so now we have to win 3 tricks. Well, what are our options? We're starting from South. Well, we have 2 aces, and we have the queen of spades. And we can see that West has the king of spades. And if we start from South, we play through West. West has to play before North. So we can finesse the queen of spades by playing through West. And because we're already in the hand we want to be in to take the finesse, let's just do it. We don't have to get anywhere. Play a small spade. And when they play small, we win with the queen. And now North is on lead because North won that trick, and we've got 2 aces. It doesn't really matter which order we play them in because they're both good. And we have won all 3 tricks. Are there any thoughts or questions? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Please type in the chat box. Don't, as I said in the beginning, there are no stupid questions. This might be like brand new concepts for a lot of you. So if you're confused, don't worry, you're probably not the only one who's confused. Okay, now again, we have to win 3 tricks. And we're starting from the north hand. Well, we have the ace and king of spades and the jack, but the queen is out there. We want to finesse against the queen, finesse the jack. And in order to do that, because we can see where the queen is, we know that we have to start from the south hand and play through West. But right now, we're in the north hand. And April makes a very good point. Yes, in a real bridge hand, you can't see where the other cards are, and it is a guess. That is true, and it's a very good point. The probability of a finesse is always 50-50, unless you have some sort of information based on the bidding and the auction, which we won't get to for a while. And I have a question from Alex. I know the declarer decides which dummy card to play, but do they also physically move the dummy cards? Oh, very good question. Yes, if you're playing in person, this is kind of an aside, but it depends on which kind of bridge you're playing. When you are playing competitive duplicate bridge in a sanctioned bridge game at a bridge club, you ask your partner, the dummy, please play the 2 of clubs or whatever. But when I learned bridge years ago, I just learned like rubber bridge or kitchen bridge casually with friends. Usually the person who's the declarer takes the card from the dummy as well as playing their own card. So fun question for that. But yes, a finesse is always 50-50, which is, at least halfway odds. Okay, so for this hand, we're starting from north. And because fortunately, we can see all the cards, we know we have to play through West. So we have to start with a small spade to the ace. So we're in the correct hand to take the finesse. And when West plays small, we win with the jack. And now the king will capture the queen. Okay, now here, We have to win 2 tricks, and we're starting from south. Well, we have the ace of hearts in the north and queen jack both in the south. But the king is on our left. This is also a kind of finesse, but it's a different kind of finesse. What we've been doing so far, playing a small card towards the lesser honor that we want to finesse, that's called an indirect finesse, or usually they just call it a finesse. Here, because we have 2 adjacent honors, we can play the queen and see what West does. If we play the queen and West plays small, we play small from the north hand. We say, play the queen. If West plays small, let it ride. So we'll play small. And now when we play the jack, the ace will capture the king. And I can't control the robots here, but if instead, when we had played the queen, I can't make them do, I don't think I can make them do, so we'll play the jack. Well, if West had covered with the king, then we would take our ace in the north hand and the queen would have been promoted. But they won't let me show that example on this hand. Let's try, maybe they'll let me do it on this one. So once again, we have to win 3 tricks. We have the ace, king of hearts in the north hand and jack 10 in the south. And we got to get through that queen in west hand. So if we start by running the jack. Okay, yes. So now West has covered, we say they covered the jack with the queen. That's okay. We can win with the ace. And now the 10 in south has been promoted. So if we want, we could cash the king first, or we could play small towards the 10, which is now good, and then back up to the king. This kind of a finesse is called either a direct finesse, or the term I like better is a push finesse. I think that's easier to remember because you're pushing the queen through, or here the jack, we're pushing the jack through and seeing if the opponent covers. 5 tricks, oh my, we have to win all 5 tricks. Well, what looks like our best bet? We got this nice long diamond suit in north, and the 7 and 6 of hearts in south, I'm not optimistic that those will amount to anything. And between north and south combined, we have ace, queen, jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Everything except the king. And here again, because in the south hand, we have the queen and jack and the 8 together, we can do a push finesse. So we'll start with the queen. And when West plays small, we let it ride. Then play the jack and do the same thing. And West plays small. So we let it ride. And now we play the 8. Now here is the trick. Well, we can't let it ride. We have to wind up in north because all of north's diamonds are higher than south's. But we have to overtake the 8 with the 9 or the 10, not the ace, because we're saving that ace to take the king right now. And we'll discard a heart from south. And our last diamond is now good. So we play the 10. And we took 5 tricks. Any other thoughts or questions? Isn't this fun? Okay, we have to take 4 tricks. And we are starting from the north hand. Well, North and South have only clubs, so that's the suit we're going to focus on. And we have the combination of the ace, queen, jack, and 10 of clubs. We're just missing the king. And we're starting from the north hand. Can we take 4 tricks? Well, again here, we have the adjacent honors, queen, jack, and 10. And we're starting from the north hand, so we can start with the push finesse and push the 10, because queen, jack, 10 are all equivalent, right? So we'll start by pushing the 10. And when East plays small, we let it ride and play the 2. Now we're going to take the indirect finesse and play a small club, because remember, we won this with the 10. The 10 held the trick. So North plays again, and East played small. So we can win with the jack. And now we have the ace and queen of clubs, and we can see that the only club left in East's hand is the king. So now we want to cash the ace. And there falleth the king, so our queen is good. And we have a question from Alex. A finesse is often something you're relying on to make your contract. Yes. And I will give you a bit of wisdom that my first bridge teacher taught me. Finesses are great, but he said, but they're not the be all end all. There are other ways to take tricks. My teacher said, there are 3 reasons to take a finesse. You know it will work, you need it to work, or you have nothing to lose if it doesn't work. Now here, we're taking all these finesses because we know it will work. We can see all 4 hands. And sometimes, as Alex said, this is the only way I'm going to make my contract. I need it to work. I have to take this finesse. And sometimes, you want to be greedy and try to get extra over tricks. And maybe you take a finesse because you're like, well, even if the finesse loses, I have nothing to lose. I'm not going to lose any additional tricks. I was counting on losing that trick anyway or something. We'll see more examples of that down the road. Okay. Now, hang on, we got some more examples here. Right. So we have to win 4 tricks. North and South combined, we're starting from the South hand. Yes, Marla, I see 2 aces and the queen jack, so we have to take a finesse. And we're starting from South, which is great. We're in the right hand that we want to start with the finesse. So we can start with a heart, and if East plays small, we win with the jack. Super. Well, if a finesse works once, it'll probably work twice. But we have to get back to South to do it again. So we see the ace of clubs as an entry. And let's do it again. And they play the 10, so we can win with the queen. And now the ace will capture the king. And we did it. We took all 4 tricks. Okay. Well, this one's a little more scattered. No aces and kings. But we can see all the cards in the suits here, so we know which ones are high. And South has Queen 10, 9 of spades. And also the King of Diamonds up there. So here, again, like no aces and kings to deal. Well, there's some kings, but we still need to take finesses to win our tricks. and we're starting from north. And so south has the queen, the 10, and the 9 of spades, missing the jack. So we need to take a finesse. We can see that east has the jack. So we play a spade through east. And when east plays small, we'll play the 9. And we want to do it again. So how can we get back to north? With the diamond. And don't play the 6 because east can win with the 7. We've got to cash the king and now play another spade. And when east plays small, we win with the 10. And now we'll capture the jack with the queen. And we have to discard from north. Okay, we have a couple more examples, and then we'll look at a full hand, and then we have a fancy surprise at the end. Okay, let's see. Maybe we'll just do one more. So we have to win just one trick. And we're starting from north. Well, this doesn't look very optimistic, does it? Because we're playing, the ace is off sides, because like the ace is there, right? Well, actually, no, the ace is on side in this case because east has to play their ace before we play our king. So we'll start with the 9 of hearts. Now east played the ace, so we're not going to play the king, but they have set our king up. So we'll play small. See, they couldn't capture our king. Now they have to play their jack, and the king will win. So we did it. We won one trick. I wonder, let me see if this one is another example of this. Okay, so these are no honor cards, but we're starting from south. We have to play through west's high card toward our 8 in the north hand. So we'll just play a card from south. When west plays small, we can win with the 8. If they had played the 9, we would play small, and our 8 would have been promoted. So that's the trick that we're going to win. Now, give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. Okay, we have to win 2 tricks, and we're starting from south. Well, Well, if we play the queen, we can see the east is going to win with the king. So what if we start by playing a small spade and win with the ace? And now we're going to play through east's king and see if they take it. So when they do, we play small, and lucky us, they have another spade to play. So now our queen is good. We'll look at one more example of this now. You have to win 3 tricks. And what do we have? We have king, queen of spades in the north. And the ace is on our left and west, so we have to finesse through west. And we're starting in south. So, okay, they play small. We'll win with the queen. And we want to do it again. So we'll cross back with the Jack of Diamonds and do it again. Okay, so they'll take their ace and we'll play small, but now they have set up our king. The difference is in where is the higher card positioned. If you have to play through that hand towards your lesser honor, then you play small and see what they do. And if they take their ace, you play a small card. And if they don't, then you take your king. The other option is, if you play a small card towards your king and they take their ace, then your king is set up. All right, let's look at some complete hands. Starting with number 12. Okay, we're in 3-no trump. We got to take 9 tricks. Where are they coming from? Well, let's start off with high cards. What can we take immediately? Suit by suit. How many spades can we take right off the top? Yeah, 2 with the ace king. And what about in hearts? How many immediate winners? Immediate winners is just 1, just the ace. And what about in diamonds? Similarly, just 1, the ace. And in clubs, we have 2, the ace king. Well, that adds up to 6. And we need 3 more. Where are we going to get more? Well, there are a couple of different ways we can get more tricks. In spades, I don't think we're getting any extra tricks. We've got the ace and king, but then we just have a third small one that it's not going to set up. In hearts, we have 5 hearts in the north hand, and we're only missing the king. So that has finesse written all over it. But let's also look at the other 2 suits. I like to look at all my options. So in diamonds and clubs, we have a 7-card fit, 7 cards together in 2 hands. We might be able to finesse the queen of diamonds. If West has the king, the queen of diamonds will take a trick. But that's just 1 extra trick. And also, if either diamonds or clubs break 3-3, the 4th card in that suit would set up. Well, probably the most profitable one is hearts. Because even if the diamond finesse is working, it's only 1 extra trick. And you'd have to lose a bunch of tricks before you could set up the 4th one in either diamonds or clubs. But those aces are valuable for transportation. All right, so West has led the 4 of spades. We have to play from north first. Let's play small, and we'll win with the king or the ace. And look, now we're in the south hand. We can take a finesse. So let's play the 2 of hearts. And when they play small, we can play the 10. And if a finesse works once, it will probably work again. And we have 3 different ways to get back to the south hand. 3 aces. Which one might be the safest choice? Remember we talked about like having stoppers and losing the lead. I think we talked about that before. Well, in spades, we just have the ace left. That's our only stopper. And in diamonds, we have the ace and we have the queen, which might be a stopper, but we don't know where the king is. If East has the king, the queen is probably a goner. But in clubs, we have both the ace in the south hand and the king as a stopper in the north hand. So it's safer to get to south with a club, with the ace of clubs, because now if the finesse loses and they play another club, we've got the king. We're covered. Okay, we've only got one heart left. We can only take one more finesse. And that worked also. Okay. Everybody followed twice. Well, we started with 7 cards, 5 in the north and 2 in the south. We might as well cash the ace of hearts and see if they break. And maybe I'll pitch a club. And look at that. We were in luck. So, because everyone followed to 3 rounds of hearts. So the suit broke 3-3, and there goes the king. So the queen of hearts is a winner. I'll save 1 club. And our 9 of hearts is a winner. Now we'll throw away a diamond. So we've won 7 tricks, and we have a few more for the taking. We can take the king of clubs, and we can cross to south with the ace of spades or the ace of diamonds. And now we'll take the ace of diamonds, and we got to 10 tricks. And let's see. Oh, the king is offside. So see, the queen was not going to take a trick. But we already got 1 extra, so we're in good shape. Okay. Let's look at another one. We got to take 9 tricks. And how many do we have off the top? I see ace, king of spades, ace of hearts, and ace, king of diamonds. That's 5. We need 4 more. Eeh. Well, if one of the pointy suits, spades or diamonds, breaks, maybe the 4th card in that suit will be a trick, but those spot cards, not the honors, the numbered cards, they're pretty small. 3s, 4s, 5s, 2s. I'm not terribly optimistic about that suit setting up. But we could take a few extra tricks in hearts. So we have 5 top tricks. And in clubs, after the ace falls, the other club honor in North's hand will be good. So that would get us to 6. So to get the last 3 tricks, we need all 4 heart tricks. Well, we'll start by covering the jack with the queen, and they'll take their ace. And they're going to play another club. This knocks out our last stopper. So we have to hope, this was Alex's question, this has to work. In order for us to make our contract, we got to take repeated heart finesses through East. So we'll start with the 2. And it worked. If it works once, it will probably work again. So let's cross over in spades. Either spades or diamonds is fine here. Play another heart. And it worked again. Okay, we need one more. And our last sure entry to the north hand is the ace of diamonds. And we'll play our last heart. And bingo. So now we cash the ace of hearts. And that's trick 7. And we have the 2 pointy kings, spades and diamonds. And that's tricks 8 and 9. And I'm quite sure that's all we're getting. Okay. Now, I want to show you something else kind of fancy. What does pointy mean? Okay, so when we're talking about the 4 suits, spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs, they can be grouped together in groups of 2. So the major suits are spades and hearts, and the minor suits are diamonds and clubs. The red suits are hearts and diamonds. The black suits are spades and clubs. The round suits are those that have round tops, hearts, and clubs. And the pointy suits are shaped with a point at the top. So the spade and a diamond both have a point on the top. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now we're going to look at a concept called the double finesse. We have to win 2 tricks, and we're starting from the south hand. Well, the ace of clubs is an obvious winner. And in diamonds, we have the queen and the jack. And we have to have one of those be good for our second trick. But we're missing both the ace and the king. Well, when you're missing 2 honors, like the ace and the king, they can split in 4 different ways. West could have both the ace and the king. East could have both the ace and the king. West could have the ace and East could have the king. Or West could have the king and East could have the ace. So as we can see, if we're playing from south towards north, when West plays small, we try to finesse the jack, or the queen, doesn't matter, and East won the king. So that finesse lost. And they're returning a club, which we will win, and we'll try again. Now West takes their ace, so we play small, but the queen has been promoted. Yay! The only time you will lose both finesses is if East, in this case, has both the ace and the king, and that will only happen 25% of the time, right? Because of the 4 ways it could split. West has both, East has both, they have one of each, they have the opposite one of each. So only 1 out of 4 chances that they will both be offside, and you won't get any tricks from the double finesse. 75% is really good odds. I like double finesses. Let's do some more. Okay, so here we have to win 3 tricks. And of course, South's ace of spades is an obvious winner. And the ace of hearts in north is another obvious winner, but we need a 3rd trick. So either the jack or the 10 has to take our 3rd trick. We're starting from south. So this has double finesse written all over it because we have the jack and the 10 together and we're missing the king and the queen. So we'll play a small heart. And when West plays the queen, we overtake with the ace. Now let's cross back to the south hand, and do it again. And, well, this isn't good luck. Now they had the king and the queen, but that's okay because we only needed one extra trick. So we'll throw either the jack or the 10 of hearts, and they have to play another heart. So our last heart sets up, and we get 3 tricks. See, in this case, West had both honors. So only one of the finesses worked. Okay, once again, we need to take 3 tricks. And we got the 2 sure aces, and we got the jack 10 of hearts, same kind of thing. But this time you can see that the king and queen of hearts are split. So we'll play a small heart. And when West plays small, we'll try to finesse. That finesse loses. They return a spade, which will win with the ace. And we'll try again. They played small again. So we have to hope that we're not super unlucky and that West doesn't have both of them. Here we can see that's not the case. So we take the jack. So one of the finesses won. And now the ace is good. Okay. Let's see. We got to win 4 tricks, all 4 of them. Ooh, we don't need just one. We got to win all 4 of them. So all of South's diamonds have to be good. Luckily, we're starting from north. So we're starting from the hand we want to be in to take a finesse. And we got to finesse the 10 and the queen. So luckily, we can see that East has both of the missing honors, the king and the jack. So this might be our lucky day. So play a diamond. All 3 of those are equivalent. And when East plays small, we win as cheaply as possible with the 10. And then we can get back to north with the queen of spades, because we can see that that's high. And we'll try it again. And we'll play a diamond. If East had played the king, obviously we would win the ace and our queen would be set up. But they played the jack, so we'll win with the queen. And now the ace will capture the last diamond, the king. And yes, very alluding to April's point earlier, yeah, when you can see where all the cards are, it's easy to know which one to play. But we're making it really obvious with all the cards in front of you to get you starting to think about this. And as you get more experienced at bridge, you'll be able to guess better where the missing cards are. Okay, we need to win 3 tricks. And we're starting from north. Well, we have the ace, queen, and 10 in the south hand of diamonds. And we're missing both the king and the jack. We're going to start from north and play a diamond. And East plays small. Now, here, again, we can see all the cards, so it's easy to see what's going to happen. If we play the 10, they'll win with the jack. And then, okay, they're playing a spade. So now we take another one, another finesse. And East played small, so we can win with the queen. And now our ace captures the king. If instead we thought, well, I'm going to play the queen. Okay, the queen won this trick. You cross over to the queen of spades and now play another one. And if they play small and you play the 10, you'll lose to the jack. But because they have to play another diamond, you will get your ace in the end. Okay, usually it's better in this kind of situation to finesse to the 10 first. Okay. Oh, this one, there's no way to win more than one trick, so we will skip this example. Let's go back here. We have a couple more examples here with full hands. But before I look at these last two full examples, are there any questions about the double finesse? Because the other thing I can show you is I have a little like group of slides that kind of outline this, because this was hard for me to see at first when it was first explained to me. So if it's not making sense to you, don't feel bad and just say, yes, can you explain it again? Or can you show me the slides that you have, and I can show you the way that I outlined it to think about it better. I'm not the best graphic designer, so they're not super slides, and I'll pause for a moment as people are typing. Okay, show it again. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen for now. And I'll show you. Can you see the slides now? It seems like the purpose of a finesse is to promote your non-guaranteed cards. That is exactly right, Steve. The definition of a finesse is trying to win a card that's not the highest card in the suit. Okay, so you can see my slides. It starts with the double finesse. You have one sure trick in clubs with this layout, the ace. So you have the ace, jack, 10, small of clubs on the top. Again, I apologize, I'm not a graphic designer. And 3 small clubs on the bottom. And you're starting from the south hand, playing towards north, the arrow. And the ace of clubs is the only sure winner. But you need a second trick. You need to successfully finesse either the jack or the 10 to get one extra trick. And success depends on the location of the king and the queen. So in this layout, West has both the king and the queen. So both finesses will be successful. If you play small, and if they play small, you win the jack, and you cross back over and you play another one. And if they cover, you take your ace, but the 10 is set up. Or if they play small again, then you finesse, after you finesse the jack the first time, and you finesse the 10 the second time, and then you have your ace. If they're divided this way, so West has the king and East has the queen, one finesse will succeed. This is kind of like the examples I was showing you on Bestie Bridge. So you play small, and if East plays their king, you can win with the ace. You come back to the south hand and play towards the jack. And then maybe this time East wins the queen, but now your 10 is good. And similarly here, I've just switched the king and the queen, but same idea. You play from south toward north, and if West plays small, you try one of the smaller honors, and East might capture it. But then when you get back to south, you try again, and if East plays small, you try the other smaller honor, and here it would win. Or if they cover with the queen, you can win your ace, and you've promoted the second smaller honor. But if East has both the king and the queen, both finesses will lose, because each time you play from south and west plays small and you try the lesser honor, east has both of the bigger honors and will gobble both of them up. But that only happens 25% of the time. So 75% of the time, you'll get at least one extra trick. See, each of the 4 distributions occurs with equal probability, 1 out of 4. And only one of those results in total failure. So that means that at least 75% of the time, you'll get at least one extra trick from a double finesse. Does that make sense? Was that helpful? Even though they're not super slides? Oh, good. It's helpful. Good. Well, it's 7:30 already. Oh my gosh. So I have introduced you to the concept of finessing.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Marla. What a great lesson.
Oh, good.
Where have I gone?
Yep.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can see and hear you.
Oh, can you? I can't for some reason. Oh, there I am. I've come back again. Yeah, finessing's so much fun when you sort of get your head around it, and there is a bit to get your head around, but it's so much fun. It was such a great comment Steve made around trying to promote your non-guaranteed cards.
Right. And I see Steve has a question here. It seems that if one of the opponents plays incorrectly, that it could mess up a finesse. Yes, it can. Sometimes the opponents do things either because they may not know any better or because they're extra sly, and it can mess things up.
Yeah, if you're a good opponent, then yes, definitely. But I think, and Jenny was onto it, 50% chance is better than no chance at all,
Right.
So yeah, it's a fun game, and all these little tricks help to add to the magic. So yeah, really great lesson. I really appreciated it. And these guys are super fast as well. I'm impressed because Bajia said you guys are all beginners, I think. So,
yeah. This is only their 3rd lesson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys you're doing swimmingly. You're asking all the right questions.
Yeah.
It just takes time as well. So, give yourself some grace. And if you don't get it straight away, we were all there. Trust me. Some of us are still there at times. It takes a long time.
Yeah.
And it's part of just enjoy the journey. And if you don't get it today, don't worry. You can watch those lessons from the lesson library and go back, and when you feel like you've got a little bit more headspace, watch it and it will probably sink in. So
yeah, sometimes it takes a couple times for something to see. I told you when I learned about the double finesse, it took me a while. I'm like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I'm good at math. But I was like, I don't get it. And then finally, I was able to lay it out graphically. I'm like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it just takes a while for something to sink in, or you have to hear it a couple times or hear it a couple different ways. I'll try to explain things different ways sometimes if that helps people.
No,
but it's always fun.
Great lesson, wasn't it, Jenny? Yeah. And I think bridge as well, one of the beautiful things about it is that the learning journey never really seems to end.
Mm-hmm.
I've been for about 7 years, and I still feel like an absolute beginner, and I kind of like that because it means I never get bored. So
that's true. That's very true.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. It was lovely to see you all. Thank you, Jeannie, Steve, Diana. I know we had April, Bob, Alex. Who else have we had today? Have I forgotten anybody? I hope not.
Lots of people like to stay quiet, and that's totally fine.
Iris, I know. I can see you there, Iris. We see you. But yeah, Margaret as well. Yeah, thanks for joining us. And I'm sure while I might not be with you next week, Marla will be. And I hope you have a fantastic journey. And I'll see you again.
All right. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Bala.
Bye.